4.5-second difference. Game clock, shot clock. Lowry! An offensive foul called against Kyle Lowry and Dwayne Casey. A technical foul called on Kyle Lowry. He's out of the game.
Well, right there, my dude Matt Devlin with the call of that unfortunate offensive foul called against Kyle Lowry back in a game in Sacramento in February. I know it well because I was producing the game and we tried to show every possible angle that we had in the truck. I still don't know what I would have called on that. But by the way, I'm Dan, not Akil. He's on vacation, so we're filling in here. We're talking about the game Friday night, Raptors-Sacramento, the rematch from that game, and Rudy Gay's return to Toronto after playing 51 games with the Raptors over the last couple of seasons. The Raptors are 27-14 since the trade. Unfathomable record for this team to have. If you doubled it over an 82-game season, they would have 54 wins. Astonishing. Dwayne, has the trade been the key to the success?
Yeah, I really think you see it in terms of how this team has rallied together. More importantly, moving the ball, which wasn't happening when Rudy Gay was here, where he was a black hole, and not moving the ball at all. It's between Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan's growth post-trade and the depth of the four players they got in that trade, which is their supporting cast, that's been a big difference for this ball club. John
Conway, do you agree with that assessment? Has it all been because of this trade?
I mean, it has to be. Look at the stats. I mean, the catalyst was after that move, the team has gone on a great run. I think tomorrow night's going to be a great game because there's going to be a lot of emotion involved. He's coming back in. There's going to be a battle of who, if the trade was good, if it wasn't good, if he was really the reason why, and we'll see. It'll be explosive, I think.
Megan, the Raptors have had quite a few games at home over this last stretch of games, although there was a few days off this week. Have you seen anything different in the last couple of weeks in covering the team since you came back from the Olympic stint that maybe was different from at that point in the season when they went into Sacramento and maybe weren't themselves and lost that game?
I think, to agree with, the points made, yes, this trade has made a big difference for the Raptors on the court, but it's also made a big difference off the court. And in the last few weeks, we're really seeing relationships and they're flourishing, really. The guys who came back in the Rudy Gay trade have become cheerleaders, and Greivis Vasquez is one of those guys. When he's in the locker room, I mean, he's high-fiving Amir Johnson, and they're making jokes, and their lockers are next to one another, and you're actually seeing them enjoy themselves. And that's the difference right now. Also, the relationship between Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan. Both of those players have had very successful seasons now since the trade. And they were good players before. They're better players now since this trade, but they're also growing into leaders. And I think now that, and since the Rudy Gay trade, they've had the opportunity to develop on and off the court. And I think the team is really relying on that leadership and the growth because they've had an opportunity to do so. There's no black hole anymore.
Well, I hate to agree with all of you, but I think everything you said was, from all of you, it's been very astute. And DeMar DeRozan became an all-star after the trade, and I think you touched on it there, Megan, the depth and the character that those four guys brought from Sacramento. Vasquez, Patrick Patterson is basically my favorite player on the team right now, especially since that crazy steal in Brooklyn. Now, the Brooklyn Nets have to be regarded right now, and nobody can look past them. They were on the front cover of Sports Illustrated's NBA preview. Then they go and start the year at 10-21. Now they're moving up the standings. Everybody in that 3 to 6 seems to be moving up the standings. As we take a look at it now, I want to throw this question out, and John, I'm going to start with you.
Okay.
Of that middle section, 3 to 6, Toronto, Chicago, Washington, Brooklyn, and it's getting as tight as it can possibly be as we go down the stretch. Which of those four teams do you think could possibly win a second-round series in the playoffs, which would likely be against Indiana or Miami?
I like Chicago. I don't know exactly the reasons I like them. I like their energy. I like what Noah's doing right now. He's dropping triple doubles like every night. I think Heinrich, if he gets hot, he's gonna hit and hit and hit, and hopefully, we get something going. I like the Bulls.
Yeah, I like the Bulls a lot too in terms of the defense. Yep. Tom Thibodeau's principles he has there, the playoff pedigree those guys have. Noah, as you mentioned, is playing great, and what Noah's doing is he's finding the open shooters. DJ Augustine, who didn't work out in Toronto, was orchestrated to run the offense, which he can't do, but he can spot up and shoot, and Noah gets the ball in the paint, and he kicks it out to guys like him or Jimmer Fredette, who they got. Those guys are going to go deep.
Am I crazy, Megan, to think that the Nets
Yes.
throw a scare into the Pacers in the second round? I'm nuts.
Yes, you are nuts.
They have so much playoff experience pedigree. Yeah, they're older, but there's so much talent on that roster.
And you think they can go ahead and beat the Pacers in the second round?
I don't know. I think they maybe. No?
I think it's wishful thinking. I do.
So is the Eastern Finals? It's Indiana, Miami, and let's all just wait until late May.
You know what? I would say yes.
Fast forward. Let's get there.
I mean, I think everyone's expecting it, and I think those two teams are the only two that are going to be able to survive every round until they get to one another. And I think they know that right now. Listen, I'd love to say the Raptors are going to do it and beat one of those teams in the second round, but the way they're playing right now, and Coach Casey yesterday at practice said that rebounding was their bugaboo right now, and those are his words. So yes, of course, the Raptors are still a growing team. They're still the underdog, and while this city would really, really benefit from seeing some second round playoff basketball, I really just don't think the Raptors can do it. I'm with these guys. I think if anyone's going to do it, it's going to be Chicago. But we'll have to wait and see. Right now, I really do think it's going to be Indiana and Miami.
I like Raptors more than Brooklyn. Brooklyn just had their first game over 500 for the whole season yesterday. So
it's just not likely.
Keep believing.
I mean, I think the biggest thing will be out of Indiana and Miami, who uses up the most energy in those first series until they hit each other. So what teams out of those 3 to 6 are really going to put up a bigger fight, and who's going to waste all their energy that they have left at the end of the season to get into that big battle in the ring?
Fine, I'm going to go ahead and pick you guys again. Although I think one of the great stories in the league going down the stretch is going to be positioning that 3 to 6. 4 teams that are basically evenly matched. All right, we're going to break right now. When we come back, we're going to talk about tanking.